Welcome and welcome back to another episode of Around the World with Ashley. In today's episode, we are finally getting into a deep dive of my Italy trip. Honestly, I might break this up into two parts. A lot to cover, and I want to make sure you guys see it all, so join me for parts 1 and 2 of my Rome video. This trip, I am exploring Rome, I'm exploring Florence, and I am exploring Tuscany. And this is actually a study abroad program for my MBA. Really, this is a different trip for me because this is one where I'm not actually organizing a lot of it. Typically, most of my trips, I don't use a travel agent, I don't use anything like that. I like to consider myself like the queen of rewards programs. So I am figuring out how I can use loyalty points, credit card rewards, all that great stuff so that I can maximize the amount of travel opportunities that I have without necessarily breaking the bank and using that money to really fund more experiences. So when I went to Italy, I was actually already in Europe. I had just finished spending a week in Paris with my mom. We had the most amazing time visiting all of the sites around Paris, getting our croissants, our hot chocolate, our tea, visiting the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, all of those great things. We ended up spending New Year's Eve there, a few days before, a few days after, and I just had an amazing time spending the week with her. To get to Rome, I ended up flying one way on Air France from Paris. It was so nice. I have medallion status through Delta, and so because they're all part of SkyTeam, that matched right over. I got Sky Priority. I got a chance to go into the Air France lounge, and I do want to apologize. I really don't have good footage of the Air France lounge. I'm not gonna lie. It was so early in the morning. I literally just went into that lounge and went to sleep. They had this little nap section, and I recently got a travel blanket, I've got a travel pillow, I have an eye mask, I have headphones, and I literally just went into like the little nap section and I was knocked out. Also, my flight got delayed, so every time I set an alarm, I just kept being able to extend my nap, which was so great. Next time I fly through Charles de Gaulle, I will definitely make sure that I get videos and all that great stuff from the Air France lounge, but please forgive me, I don't really have a lot from this trip. Lovely hotel, which I will show you in just a bit, but I will be here for 2 nights. So after I do this for 2 nights for the pre-trip, I will transfer over to another hotel, which is supposed to be a 5-star hotel, which will be really fancy. Take a train to Florence, and then I will stay at a 4-star hotel, I believe, and then head on home. But at this point, I have flown in, but overall my ride here was really, really nice. Just the entire flight, the entire experience. The Rome airport is amazing. The Paris airport is amazing. Ubers here are really great. Took a van with some of my friends that I met up with. So that's kind of where we are now. I am going on a really cool Tuscany day trip tomorrow that I booked a tour for. So now I'm just going to kind of unpack the bags, get ready for that, head to sleep a little bit early so that I can get up in the morning for that. So yeah, let's get ready. Good morning. It is currently the crack of dawn, and by the crack of dawn I truly mean sun's not even out yet, but I'm here. I'm gonna butcher the name of it, but it's called the Piazza del Popolo, and I'm getting ready to go on a Tuscany day trip, so really excited about it. Should be super cool. I'll take video of it, but as of right now, if you can't see it, I am exhausted. But let me show you a little bit about this square. last video, right? I mean, literally bags under my eyes. I fell asleep on the bus. It was probably like a 2-hour ride, knocked out, absolutely gone. So I don't have footage on the way there, but you're gonna see a lot of the sights when we were there and some footage on the way back. Our first stop was this little town called Montepulciano, and it was absolutely gorgeous. We spent a lot of time just walking through there. It was very hilly, but it was a really good time. I made sure that I had my walking shoes on. Although I did wear the absolute wrong socks to be walking around. I wore these socks that, like, you guys know those little ankle socks where they just kind of like ride down a little bit, like they don't stay up. They kept going down. And I was literally like the point where I was just like, do I just need to take the socks off? Do I need to buy socks from somewhere while we're out? It was so annoying. But anyways, Montepulciano was gorgeous. Walking around the city was absolutely amazing. So one of the things that you're gonna see throughout this video and some of the other vlogs is that there are so many Christmas decorations up everywhere. And I'm posting these videos probably like end of winter, beginning of spring. So you're like, all right, Christmas is over, let's get it over with. But Italy apparently, or at least Rome specifically, I think, celebrates Christmas until like January 6th. So they still had Christmas decorations up. I actually was there on a holiday, Epiphany Day, which I'll talk about a little bit more later. What made the experience so much better in that little town was that apparently that is where some parts of New Moon from the Twilight Saga were filmed. And I was a huge Twilight fan growing up. Actually, on the way back home, I watched like 3 of the Twilight movies on the plane because shout out to Delta on long haul flights. They put so many more movies and TV shows on there for your selection. So I watched so many of the Twilight videos on the way back, but it was so cool walking through the streets and seeing that they had some of the Twilight merch. That was run by 2 sisters. It was a really cool experience. We got to eat, drink, be merry, all of the above. The sisters were just the cutest, and they told us how monks, I think it used to be a monastery where their winery was, and so they tried to really keep like the values and stuff that the monks actually did before. So they didn't use like butter. Apparently the monks didn't cook with butter. They only cook with olive oil. So they did stuff like that. We actually had almost like, not quite like holy wine, but like this really, really sweet like dessert wine. And oh my God, I can't remember the name of the cookie, but these little cookies that you like dipped in it, they put the wine in like a shot glass. It was really good, actually. Like I really liked it. this cheese that was absolutely amazing. I wish I remembered the name of it, but what stood out the most was the honey that they paired it with. So one of the people that I was with, they were like, oh, honey and cheese, I would have never thought of that. But charcuterie boards, that's literally what you do. You put a cracker, some cheese, some honey, maybe a little fruit, maybe some salami, something like that. And so they brought us like a regular honey, but then also a plum honey, and I bought it. So I will show you the regular honey that they had. Delicious. And then this plum honey, which was really, it was kind of different, but honestly, like, it was absolutely delicious. So I will be using these for my next charcuterie boards. But I'm only gonna put a little bit out because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, if people mess over these, I'm gonna be a little upset because they were actually really good. Honestly, I'll probably eat more of it than I share with other people, but just wanted to show this little souvenirs that I got from the Tuscany trip. Day trip was honestly probably one of the coolest things that we did during our time in Italy, because we just got to see so much of the countryside. Like, it wasn't these super busy parts in Rome and Florence and anywhere else that you could go, cities like Milan, Venice. This was truly laid back. Like, it was quiet. It sounds weird, but like, you really got fresh air. Like, you were outside, you were touching grass, so to say. And it was a really nice experience. We had seen this McDonald's that was near the Piazza del Popolo, and it looked really fancy, like kind of fancier than some of the other McDonald's that we see. And we were like, we gotta go. We gotta try it out. Initially, honestly, we weren't really trying to go. Like, we wanted to go get some real food, but by the time we got done with that Tuscany day trip, we were tired. Like, we had been up since like 5 or 6 in the morning. This was after having traveled to Italy the day before. We were just like, what's something quick and easy that we can get? And McDonald's was actually right there where the charter bus dropped us back off. So we went in, we saw the ordering kiosks, I saw the McCafe. I have another video that is just all about the tiramisu that I ate at the McCafe, but we had a really good time. Tried some different things. They got some different sauces. We tried the different desserts from McCafe. It was pretty cool. For new fast food, right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So my friend Tim and I, we ended up just trying to kill some time. We were switching hotels that day. We had come a little bit earlier, so we were staying at the DoubleTree, which I showed you guys earlier, and we were transitioning to a different hotel that was part of the program for our school. So Tim and I were like, you know what? We want to kill some time. We don't know if check-in is happening at this other hotel yet. Let's just walk around. So we walked around for a while. The DoubleTree that we were at wasn't too far from the train station, so we ended up walking by the train station. And then while we were over there, we noticed a KFC. And I was feeling a little snacky. I hadn't gotten up. I didn't get breakfast at the hotel. So I was like, you know what? Let's try it. And mind you, I actually don't eat KFC at home for real. Like, nothing against it personally, but I just want, like, I want KFC, you know? Growing up, we used to eat KFC, but anyways, that's besides the point. So we went to KFC. It was literally standing room only, same order kiosk and everything. I didn't take a video of my food, sorry. I was literally that hungry, I scarfed it down. But it was just like chicken tenders, fries, all that great stuff. But there was literally nowhere to sit. Like, all of the seats were taken. We had to go find like these high top tables, and we just stood up and ate our food. And then we found out from our friends in our group chat that apparently the hotel was open early. So we skedaddled on out of there and we got our stuff and checked in at the next hotel. At this point, we are transitioning from the DoubleTree to another hotel. And I'm not gonna lie, I was very much into the DoubleTree hotel. So it was different transitioning to this new one. So I'm usually somebody who stays at a Hilton or a Marriott, even when I travel internationally, because I just kind of prefer knowing what to expect. In terms of quality, in terms of the brand, in terms of hotels, things like that. But it also helps that I have status with them too. So like I get the benefits, I get the upgrades, I get all of that great stuff. The hotel that we stayed at for the program was a little bit different. It was an Italian brand. It was called Star Hotels. And you know, in hindsight, it actually was really cool to be able to see the differences between like the American chains and the Italian chains, and do something a little bit different that I wouldn't have normally done. So I'll give it that. The hotel was different though. That's what I will say. It was still cute. It had amenities. Some of my friends had like really big bathrooms. Some of them have upgraded rooms. I think I just kind of missed my room at the Hilton a little bit more. Like I had an upgraded room. I had a Bluetooth speaker in my bathroom. So they were just different amenities, different strokes for different folks, you know? And I think one of the coolest parts about the trip, just kind of in the beginning, was all of my friends starting to text and be like, hey, where y'all at? What we finna do? What y'all finna get into? And so you know what we did? We got into something. We ended up walking over to a little cafe. It was like a very late lunch. And my friend and I, we had already eaten. Like we, not like just come from KFC, but it wasn't so long ago that I was hungry again, but we still went because for the vibes, for the camaraderie. Now, let me show y'all something from that restaurant, okay? My friend and I mentioned we went to KFC. We'd already had something to eat. We were like, you know what, we're good. I got a mocktail. He got something else to drink. I think he got the same mocktail and like a tea and like mixed it and it looked really good, all that great stuff.
why did the waiter try to like upsell him, right? And it's just like, oh yeah, get the bruschetta. The bruschetta's really good. People really like it. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I want y'all to see this bruschetta, and I want you to tell me your thoughts. Yeah, that's what I thought. This was not some bruschetta I needed to be convinced to purchase. I mean, I didn't purchase it. I ain't gonna lie. Tim, sorry to your wallet that you purchased that bruschetta. Cause it was alright. It was alright. It was alright. Wasn't the best. Wasn't the worst. Can't think of a worse one. But I'm gonna say it wasn't the worst. But you know that is one thing that I will say. I was surprisingly, actually, I wouldn't even say surprisingly because low key one of my friends warned me. But still low key surprisingly disappointed and surprised at the food in Rome. I don't know. I was just kind of underwhelmed by the food in Rome. I'm not gonna lie. And you know what? I will take some of that. Maybe it was on me. Maybe it was on my friends and I for not finding some restaurants that had like really good reviews. Maybe some of the local spots that people liked. Could more research have been done? Sure, yeah. But I don't know. We had it was like it wasn't anything that I like would want to go back to, or it was like, oh my god, that meal was so good. Like it was just kind of sustenance at a certain point. But you know, some things are hits, some things are misses. That's life. Anyways, after that restaurant, we went back to the hotel. We chilled, we freshened up. Some of us hung out in the hotel bar. And then that night was the very first like required event that we had to do for our MBA program. And so we had like a welcome dinner. We all went downstairs. Some of us got cute. We got on the charter bus and then we went to this restaurant that was pretty much fully booked out for us. I don't even think they're typically open on that day, but they came in. We had the whole restaurant. Everybody had different tables. We sat down. We ate. It was cool. What I will say, like, we had pasta, we had wine, we had tiramisu. It was a cute little outing. The highlight for me, I don't even know if I really want to say it's the highlight, but the main thing I remember was trying to figure out how to stream a football game. So, you guys don't know this about me just yet, but it's probably time for me to go ahead and reveal it. I am a die-hard Atlanta Falcons fan. And when I say die-hard, I truly do mean die-hard. I was like, I gotta figure out how to watch this game. It was our game versus the Panthers. It was happening in Atlanta, and like it had huge implications. We were like this close to maybe being able to go to the playoffs. And by this close, I really mean like this close. But we were like potentially gonna go to the playoffs, you know, maybe. By the hair on our chinny chin chin, all we needed was the Buccaneers to lose. And I do phrase it that way because there is not any time where I can ever root for the Saints to win because I'm a dirty bird. But I can root for another team to lose. And if they happen to win, then okay, that's what happened, you know? But, anyways, so I needed the Buccaneers to lose. I needed the Panthers to lose to us. And that was like how we were going to slide our way into the playoffs at the last minute. Obviously, that didn't happen. But I wasn't giving up. I was trying to figure out how to stream that game. I finally got it to stream. I was watching it for a few minutes, and then my stream failed. And I was like, you know what, whatever. And then later on, I went to the hotel, got my stream to work back on my iPad, was super hyped watching the game. And then I watched us lose in overtime. The Bucks won, you know, whatever. All right, so that was kind of like, why am I talking about the Falcons so much? You were in Italy. Were the Falcons in Italy? No. But that was a very big part of my dinner because I spent a lot of time trying to get that stream to work. And it worked, and then it didn't, and then I was sad. And then I was like, you know what? Be social. Talk to your classmates. Get to know them. This is the welcome dinner. And so I did that, and I had fun, and it was a good time. And then I just kind of relaxed because we had a really long day ahead of us for the next day. Speaking of a long day ahead of us, the next day, that is coming to you in part 2. So much happened. It was honestly a lot of fun. I feel like I was doing hood rat stuff with my hood rat friends, joking and not joking. We had a really good time, which was crazy because it was a Monday night, but we had a good little time. So I will show you all about that in part 2, where we get to finish up the trip in Rome, and then part 3 will come later and you'll get to see everything that happened in Florence. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, all that great stuff. Make sure you stay tuned. Part 2 is coming very, very, very soon, and I will see you next time.